How many of you think you might ever want to run for office one day? One, thank you, Emma. So I think that, I'm glad that you're thinking about it, and I hope that some of you at some point in time explore the idea, because I can tell you right now, even though you're only freshmen in high school, some of you can walk into the state capitol right now and do a better job than some of the people that are there. All right? I'm serious. Because if you're really focused on being a good voice for your community, and you're open to, you're intellectually curious and you're open to learning, you can do great things. And we need people of all ages and all backgrounds to be our representatives in the legislature. We get better laws and better policies if we all truly are represented when they're being debated and made.
Governor, it sounds like the Republicans have a budget that doesn't include any road funding. Are you going to have any leeway in accepting a budget that does not address the road situation?
We've got a road crisis. I got elected to fix the road crisis. People across our state are expecting us to get it done, and I have been here working on this budget for 6 months. The legislature took a couple of months off for a summer break without getting the budget done. This is the first time in 9 years that's happened. And now schools like Jackson are 2 months into their fiscal year and they don't even know what they're really working with. And that's why I'm committed to staying at the table until we have a budget that fixes the roads and protects schools. And I'm also unfortunately having to do the work to ensure that if we don't have a budget done in time that we're prepared. But I'm hoping that the Republicans don't force us into a shutdown. I'm serious about fixing this problem and getting a deal. We've made the biggest investment in the education of Michigan kids in a generation of Michigan kids. This is something that impacts class size, outcomes, support for teachers, wraparound supports for students, whether it's counselors or psychologists or career navigators. These are the things that improve outcomes for our kids. This budget is the biggest step forward in a long time in this state, and I'm really proud of that aspect of the budget. People have a tendency to just focus on infrastructure, but at the core of this budget is the education of our children. It's the most important thing we do, and we've got a lot of work to do on that front.
Per pupil funding, is that going to change at all? We've heard at the beginning of the summer that both sides had a planned increase. Is that still the same?
So my increase would be about $1.2 million for Jackson Public Schools alone. What the Republican Senate introduced and what the Republican House introduced was significantly lower than that. And so I remain committed to trying to meet the goal that I set. Jackson Public Schools is doing some amazing things, and I've met phenomenal teachers, and I know the commitment that is here, but they need the support so that they can deliver, and that's what I'm trying to give them through the budget that I introduced. It really is the biggest investment in a generation of Michigan kids. That's how we change outcomes for our children.
Jackson Public Schools has adopted a budget as per by law by June 30, and our budget right now is scheduled to dip into the fund balance by about $800,000. So we are very much looking forward to a budget from Lansing offering new revenue. We budgeted flat, and so we're looking for new revenue to hopefully help us correct that budget deficit concern for the 2019-2020 school year.
What was your message to the governor?
We talked to the governor specifically about teacher shortage, but we also talked about not messing with the pensions. We've got lots of folks who anticipate that when they retire, their pension is going to be there for them. And what we don't want is, I don't want the government taking out a credit card consolidation loan with our pension money. They're going to have to pay the bill, and the way to do that is to stay the course. The current pensions due to be balanced in 2038, and we would love to see that continue to be the plan.
For me, I'm always in support of what the governor has to say, particularly about the increase of $500 million in public school funding in this budget. You know, she's done her job. She's brought an honest and secure budget to the legislature. Yes, it has a tax increase. No one wants a tax increase, but when we see things crumbling, like our schools, like our infrastructure, when we don't have secure funding for our students, that's a problem. And she's really willing to address these problems in a way that we haven't addressed them in a generation. In 25 years, we've not seen an increase like that. And I commend the governor for being bold in saying we're going to solve problems together. Now we need to get the Republican legislature back and work with her on real solutions for Michigan.
The budget does have to pass the Republican legislature. Are you getting any similar assurances in support of education from the Republican leadership?
You know, we've had conversations with both the Republican and the Democratic legislatures. Our people, I know that the MASA, which is the Michigan Association of School Administrators, they're having conversations. Business leaders are having conversations. And right now, the Republicans haven't offered any real alternatives. They've given maybe an idea here or there, but not a full comprehensive solution or a reaction to the budget as a total. And until they do that, we can't go anywhere. And like Jeff said, here in Jackson, they're really working hard to support their educators to ensure that they're ready to go for the school year. If they're ready to go for the school year, why isn't the legislator?
Jeff, you've got the ear of Senator Shirkey being located in his district. Are you having similar conversations with him?
I have not met with Senator Shirkey this summer, but I did meet with Julie Alexander. We had a very similar conversation. Representative Alexander is a friend of education. We very supportive, and we've got a great relationship with Senator Shirkey as well. And so, obviously, as we're able to sit down with him, we continue to argue our side. He continues to argue his. We stand apart on this specific issue.